Hello there and welcome to the Bearded Peacock. It's my channel where we talk all things Leeds United. I'm of course George, and unfortunately we're talking about Leeds United on this one. I'm just giving my thoughts on that 3-0 disgrace, the loss at Goodison Park to Everton on Saturday afternoon. Absolutely diabolical, wasn't it, on that game? So I'm going to give my thoughts on it just in this video, really. Just before I get into it, a shout out to the guys at my place of work. I know some of you guys have been watching the channel and giving me your thoughts in work. So shout out to you guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all in the week, and I'm sure we'll have a good week's at work. Certainly better than watching Leeds United for 90 minutes. Well, certainly this weekend anyway. So, but you know, on the subject of that, anybody who wants to shout out on the show, let me know, and I'll shout you out on the show. You know, it's always good to hear from the people that are watching and everything like that. But let's get into my thoughts on this game. Then I don't want to make it a long one really, but it probably will end up being so. But I'm just so frustrated about this game. I think people watching would have probably seen other people speak their minds about this game, and yeah, I was debating potentially what to do on this here, and was I going to slate the players, was I going to slate the management, and at the end of the day, I'm just going to slate them all really, I think. But I'm just going to give my thoughts on it really. I'm not going to go gung-ho and start naming a load of players and calling the manager out. I think everybody watched my channel for a long period of time now that have known that my stance on the manager. I did sort of think, well, briefly maybe, yeah, okay, but after that display firmly in the Bielsa out, I won't even say the word because I can't seem to speak. Brigade, that's the word that I was trying to say, brigade. I am in the Bielsa out brigade. I can't say it. I'm in that way of thinking. Bielsa out for me all day long. But I understand that he won't be, until probably the end of the season. I do think that at the end of the season there'll be a new management. There'll probably be a new ownership as well, obviously, with the 49ers coming in. Hopefully we'll still be in the Premier League. I think we'll just have enough to be okay, but ultimately it's not good enough at the moment. And I feel maybe like if Bielsa stays, we're going to go down, sort of, in that sort of way of thinking. I know people will say, well, you're better than some of these players in here in this Premier League season so far, and yeah, we are better than likes of Burnley, Norwich, Watford, and things like that. But they look, well, Norwich in particular look like maybe they can get points on the board. Burnley have that know-how of getting out, although it's looking like obviously time now for them is running out. They lost again obviously at the weekend to Liverpool, which is no disgrace, of course. Norwich lost, of course, to Man City, again no disgrace. They have Liverpool next. So time is running out, and you think, well, time, each game that goes past, even if we lose, if they lose, then you stay as you were, and that's what happened this weekend. But for me, it's the way that we lost this game that is so frustrating. I mean, from the first minute, Everton were just first to everything, bang at it. They wanted to win that game of football. Frank Lampard, obviously a history with Bielsa. I sat and said about my thoughts before this game, thinking that we would turn Everton over quite easily, but Frank Lampard had his players bang up for it. He was bang up for it himself, so he didn't need that motivation kind of spilled out onto his pitch and into his players, because them players there who haven't performed by all accounts, seeing the Everton kind of stance beforehand, and all that kind of thing. They haven't performed all season. Obviously, they've got beat 3-1 at St James's Park. Obviously, we all know Newcastle are improving now, but they got beat at St James's Park 3-1. A shadow of that team came out and played on Saturday and absolutely destroyed it. Like I say, from the first minute it was a bit like watching us last season at times from the men in blue there at Goodison. They were pressing us, they were pressing the hell out of Leeds. First to every ball, we were dead off it. I think we only won 1 or 2 balls in the whole game, I think. But right from that, chance where Gordon has in the first couple of minutes, Diego Llorente and Pascal Strout looked like it was, like they just stepped on the field of a football field for the first time in their lives on Saturday. They couldn't pass the ball 2 yards, without passing it to a blue shirt or passing it out of play. And that, as the game went on, seemed to affect the rest of the team. Luke Ayling had an absolute shocking game as well, but they all did. They all weren't good. It wasn't a good display, but Everton didn't allow us to play. They just went straight for our necks, and Gordon misses that opportunity. Luke Ayling got back really well to make that tackle, but the goal's sloppy, comes in the first 10 minutes. Stuart Dallas going off didn't help us at all either. Let's see how he is. Will it be his first miss of the season against Man United at Ellen Road on Sunday? I'm thinking it probably will be, but look, we were not at it at all on this game. The ball goes in the net, Coleman scores. I mean, how did he get there? Who's marking him? Who had him? I don't know who had him. And then, it rolls on from there. How on earth Michael Keane gets that header, is it on 24 minutes or something, over Pascal Strout? How did he beat him there? Michael Keane has, by all accounts, had an absolutely atrocious season. And he just gets ahead of Pascal Strout. I don't know what Pascal's doing, but he's not seen him round the back of him, and he's just towered ahead of him and put it in the net, and we go 2-0 down on 20 odd minutes, and you're thinking, Christ, the game's done. But they didn't show anything, Leeds. They showed absolutely nothing. And Harrison, for me, Harrison was the one to pick out as well in the attacking situation. That just was so frustrating. One of his, again, one of the worst games for him. There has been many this season, but just running down a cul-de-sac every single time, crossing the ball in. Balls were not reaching him. Balls were not reaching any of our players. The only shining light in our team was Rodrigo, who obviously on another day could have had 2 goals. A couple of lovely strikes that crashed off the bar. On another day, they go in, potentially we might have gone on 2-2, 2 each on the break, but it wasn't to be. We went 2-0 down. He's bringing on the likes of Tyler Roberts and stuff, and Rafinha goes off. He had another really bad game off at half time. Forshaw comes on. And, the midfield is a big thing, isn't it? When you don't sign midfielders, how can you, it's just running. Teams are running all the way through it's like defence to their attack straight away, because there's no Phillips. You can't have Click and Rodrigo playing in the midfield, because neither of them are really natural kind of defensive midfielders. I don't even remember, well, obviously Rodrigo's an attacking player. Mateus Click is more attacking as well, isn't he, really? Robin Koch, was he even playing on Saturday? I didn't, I barely saw him touch the ball. So look, all around frustration. My thoughts, like I've said, about the management. He needs to go, in my opinion. If we get, you see, people say 6 points ahead, you're fine, but like I've said, I feel like teams below us will pick up points on that showing. We're not going to pick up any points. In the last 3 games, we've lost to those 2 teams that are behind us. Obviously, Newcastle at Ellen Road, and now, Everton at Goodison Park. 2 teams that are in absolutely atrocious runs of forms before they played us. Newcastle 1 win all season, went at Ellen Road and beat us. Everton, 1 win in 15 games, no wins in 6, and they come and we go to them and they beat us comfortably. It wasn't just a 1-0 like Newcastle. It was an absolute battering, really. And in terms of the scoreline, 3-0's bad, but just in general, Everton slackened off as the second half came in. But Anthony Gordon for me, fantastic for Everton, and Alex Iwobi was brilliant as well. Donny van der Beek did well as well, and Allen, and they played well on Saturday. Frank Lampard unfortunately had his players right up for it, and Marcelo Bielsa, like I've said just there, for me just needs to go. You dabble in now with the club's Premier League status, and I know 6 points, but I can see us losing the next few games. Obviously, it's United, then it's Liverpool, then it's Spurs, and we could easily lose 2-3 in a row there. The likes of Norwich, Burnley, Watford, they will start to pick up points here and there. So 6 points is not that much, and we are in big trouble. And I'm sick of people saying really that we're not face up to reality and say, look, we could go down here, and it's all is on the head of the manager. For me, because he's the one running it. He's the one that's telling the chairman, the board, that he doesn't need these players. These players are being brought to him. What about him? What about him? We've seen it in the January transfer window. What about Donny van der Beek? What about Harry Winks? What about him? What about him? And he turns them down. And he likes Somerville. Somerville don't even play. I mean, he was on the bench on Saturday, but he didn't get on, did he? Never changes it. Never, we're running he's running us into the ground. He's running us into the Championship, and the club needs to act quickly. But of course they won't, because Radrizzani's lost interest in Leeds United, and he's just doing the bare minimum until he can sell it up, probably in the summer. Hopefully, a refresh will happen in the summer, and hopefully we'll still be in the Premier League at that stage. But let's wait and see. It's hold on to your hats from here and wait and see what happens, because that display, like I said, was absolutely atrocious. Pascal Struijk in particular, Diego Llorente as well. For me, the two standouts to be absolutely terrible. But let me know what your thoughts are. You know what I mean? That's mine in a nutshell. Obviously, it wasn't good enough. I feel like we're in trouble and we may go and get relegated. And Bielsa, the take home is from me from this video is that I feel like it should be. And I said it in October. People saying I said that after the Southampton game. Bielsa, is it the time? Is the beginning of the end for him? This for me is the end for him. It has to be. Otherwise, we are on the way to the Championship, I believe, and it's as bad as that. But let me know your thoughts, of course. Always good to hear from everybody. It's Manchester United on Sunday, isn't it? So hopefully we can get something. But playing like we did Saturday, it's going to be a hard watch. But anyway, thanks very much for sticking with it. Thanks a lot. Marching on together. Make sure you get your comments in and everything like that. A bit of a sombre one from me today, but we're all a bit frustrated, aren't we, with the way that we're playing. So thanks a lot. Marching on together. I'll see you on the next one.